What's up, Wyoming? As you know, it's Sadie with YO Radio and YO4 News. And today we have Lou Sweet with us. She's from the Western Wyoming Community College, and she is the athletic director. Thanks for coming, Lou.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come talk with me.
Absolutely.
So let's just jump right in. How would you describe the culture of Western Wyoming Community College right now?
I think that's a hard one. That's a good one. Recently people have heard that the college has had to unfortunately undergo some funding issues,
and think it's happening everywhere.
It is happening everywhere, and that's part of it. So
Yeah.
how do we move forward from that? Well, we recently had our in-service, and Dr. Young talked about that. He got up and talked to all of us and said, while this is difficult, we will move forward from this. We have to stay together.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is,
I like that, actually.
yeah,
Just stay together.
we're really trying to pull together. And so, while it might be a little bit tough because you have all of this right out there right now, we know the value of the community college, of Western Community College,
Yeah.
Wyoming Community College, and we believe in ourselves, and we believe in the value that we bring to people, and so we are pushing forward, and we believe in education, and even though a lot of people are can say, well, we can do classes online through anywhere. We believe that the quality of education that we have and the offerings that we have, we're still the place to be.
Great, yeah. What do you think the vision is for the athletic department over the next few years?
We have a big sign outside my office, and it's something that I am very happy to be able to surround myself with coaches and then people on the campus that support my big sign, and it basically says that we need to be good people, good students, and good athletes in that order.
Yeah.
And so, we do it the way we were raised. Our parents expected us to be good people because that's something you can always control. You can't control some of the things that are happening, absolutely.
Right.
But you can control how you react and how you deal with it. And then good students, we want our students to be employable. And so we can have over a 3.0 as a department, which we just had in the fall.
Nice.
And still do good things then on the pitch, on the court, and on the mat. And so good people, good students are good workers, and that goes with the community service that we put in. And then good at your fun thing.
Yeah.
And so far we've been able to do that. So we hope that we can continue to do that.
Yeah. Actually, and my next question was going to be, what qualities do you look for in a student athlete at Western? But I think you just answered it.
We do. And then on top of that, I guess where we're at is, yes, we want to look at our stats. Everybody wants to look at their stats.
Oh, yeah.
But for us, one of the statistics is the amount of community service that we're able to do and the difference that we can make, and then the feedback that we get from people. Another stat is our grades, how we're doing that, and how we're graduating our students and moving them on to whatever they want to do, whether they want to go in the workforce, they want to go to a 4-year school, they want to play on, or they don't. And then finally after that, we want the W's.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to bring up volleyball a little bit because it's been kind of a hot topic.
Absolutely.
I know that funds were cut, which led to the women's volleyball program being cut. Did you, or I guess what factors kind of led into cutting the volleyball program?
So the college itself and the administrators, who are way smarter than I am and have much more knowledge, and knew what they needed to do, unfortunately, and I feel for them as well, because it's not easy. They had to look at the economy, which and the budgets and the health of the budgets, which I think everybody, as you indicated, everybody's doing right now.
Yes.
And they had to make some hard decisions. So they looked at all the data. I was not part of those looks. But I can tell you why the decision was announced before the other decisions at the college. We are part of what's called the NJCAA, the National Junior Collegiate Athletic Association. Right. And what all colleges, 4-year schools, University of Wyoming, and all 4-year schools do is they start recruiting and then signing students or committing students for the following year. And that date is November 1st. So they knew that they probably weren't going to be able to let everyone know what was going on until December. And had we not had this other governing body saying people are going to start needing to know what's happening with all sports, whether kids are moving on, whether we're bringing kids in or are returning kids, you start November 1st. So that announcement was made right after, the weekend. November 1st, we had the big wrestling competition here with the University of Wyoming and Western. And so we waited until the following week, we meaning the college, to make that decision, or to make the decision to make the announcement, rather, so that, one, we weren't bringing in volleyball athletes who would then be turning maybe some other places down, and they would know what their option was moving forward. Two, that the athletes that we currently have, we could start working to try to help them if they wanted to find new homes. We would work to do that, and we have done that. And then three, so we have a big body that we report to, so the region had to do some rescheduling and those kinds of things, so that the other schools were not impacted because all of a sudden Western's not in the schedule, but we just scheduled and all those kinds of things. So we had to, that announcement had to be made then so that we could move forward, not just with the other sports and the health of the other sports and that they could feel comfortable bringing students in and moving forward, but also what to do to make sure that we didn't just, we're done. Let's bring those girls in and see what their plans are. Do they want to go on to college? Are they graduating and done? They're in the workforce, or do they want opportunities to play on? And so then I took it upon myself, after visiting with them, to reach out to my peers at other schools all over the place and get them some opportunities to talk and connect and then find new homes. So those things had to happen, but the timing of it was based on the athletic timing versus the other timing. And so that was all part of the same decisions that the college made. It wasn't singular. It was part of all of the cuts that unfortunately had to be made.
Got you, yeah. And once again, you're kind of right on top of it. You kind of answered my next question, which is what support is being offered to current volleyball athletes academically, emotionally, and in terms of transfer options. But obviously you are already...
Right. So as far as the transfer options, I talked about that. But as far as internally, like right now, I build my schedules for the gym usage because we have one main gym, so we share it. And then our auxiliary gym is kind of, the whole college uses it. The Children's Center uses it. The intramurals uses it. Our indoor soccer practices during the winter, although they could be outside right now, but they use it. And then if there's time, the community uses it, and other groups, elections are held there. So we have to use that gym sparingly. So the main gym usually has women's basketball, men's basketball, and volleyball practices in there. So during the fall, when volleyball was in season, they had primary pick of practice. And now that they're out of season, even though we're discontinuing that, those girls and I have been meeting. There's only a couple of them back on campus quite yet, but we've been meeting to figure out what times and they want to still play, get the net out and do pass and serve or play. And so they're still doing that. They are still required by me to maintain good marks, and we've been talking about their academics because they're still taking classes in the spring, most of them, before they move on. There's a few that have already moved on, but there's some that are staying with us for the spring for their academics and still playing and lifting and doing the things they want to do. And I'm trying to be the person that they have right there on campus to work through that. So they are, because above all, remember, the whole thing is good people. So they're still people, and I definitely have an obligation to them, and they're wonderful people. So we're doing that.
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's switch subjects. Which programs are you most excited about this season, and why?
So I love all of our sports, but right now, women's and men's basketball are just right now into region play. And they played Gillette a couple of days ago, and we beat them at home. Exciting games.
Yeah.
And so they started region play at 1-0, which is great. And then wrestling, of course, they're doing great things. They just returned from the national coaches duel where they got second in the country there, and they're getting all shored up for their spring semester. So on the 24th, we have our annual Labor Night basketball games sponsored by the United Steelworkers, and that's always a fun one to have them here. So that'll get a big crowd up to Western.
And what day was that again? I'm sorry.
24th, Saturday the 24th.
Okay.
And then on Saturday the 31st, the very next week, we have the annual chili cook-off. That happens in the day, getting a lot of people up, and then we still play basketball, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And then on February 21st, again, another Saturday, we host districts for wrestling, which is the national qualifying tournament. Nice. So all of the region teams will be there then. And so we've got, that's exciting. All of it's exciting. Yeah. So I can't say I'm more excited for one than the other. There's only three.
Yeah.
If we had like the University of Wyoming, we had like 15 programs going on, right? You know, all of them, then we'd have to see. But I'm very excited about all three of our winter sports that are going on right now, and the potential for both basketball teams to finish near the top of the region, heading into region play, and of course to see where our wrestlers fall this year.
Yeah. Okay. So now that you brought up wrestling, I have to ask this because how do you guys go about like recruiting athletes? Just because I know that like the wrestling team has been so amazing, and I know that there's got to be a lot of hard work behind that.
So, you know, I think all three of my coaches have done well, and with soccer too.
Yeah.
It's a thing. You go to the website, athletics, and there's a recruit me page. We've put that there. So we have people who are interested who reach out to us. Mm-hmm. And I think success builds that. When you're successful, people kind of self-recruit. But our coaches do a nice job of looking at the area high schools, looking at the service area schools, listening to former athletes who say, hey, I've got a cousin. And, you know, and then they have some open tryouts. And so it is hard. I'll tell you what's hard is when you see so many, because again, it's about people. These people come to us and we don't have enough room for them because you do have a limited number on your roster. But what a great problem to have.
Right.
Because way back in the day, and I've been at the college for a while, programs were there, but emerging. And so as you emerge, you go through your lumps and everything now. And not to say that we're not, but we've kind of created a culture in which people help us recruit themselves.
Well, and it's also really nice too that when you have such a successful program with the different sports, it kind of might even make it a little easier.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So then now the hard part is I don't have room for all these kids. Man, if I could, I'd take all of them. And so, you know, that's our new problem. But the coaches still do a very good job of reaching out to students. And good. And for the most part, you know, we're keeping people with, you know, there's a lot of people either local or within a small distance. And so that's nice to have local people at your community college.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you know, Lou, thank you so very much for talking with me today. And I hope to have you back on here sometime. And thanks again.
That would be awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right.